Oh, very late. Good evening to everybody. If you guys are going to join me live in this is going to be for all of you night owls out there. If not, you're probably watching this on replay, so thanks for watching nonetheless. I just got back from the city celebrating my friend's 45th birthday. Happy birthday, Mayor. Lovely dinner. We went to Smith & Wollensky. Very expensive, but very delicious steakhouse. Had arguably the best prime rib I ever ate. Ever. It was good. If you haven't had a good steak in a while, I strongly suggest you cook yourself a good steak. Or go get a good steak. I'll never be a vegetarian ever again because steak is delicious. I had to close my bathroom door, or at least close it enough. A, I don't want you guys to be able to see in the bathroom. But B, there is a certain four-legged individual that, hold on, he's eating something he shouldn't be eating. Elvis. What are you eating? Oh, you're eating the fuzz from your bed, you asshole. He's eating the fuzz that was in his bed on top of his cat tree. He clawed a hole open, and now he's eating the fuzz out of it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I closed my bathroom door. Didn't want you guys to look in it. But also, there's a certain four-legged individual who, buddy, we got to work on your diet. I got to start giving you new food because I tried switching his food. That's supposedly healthier for cats. And all it did was make his poop smell even worse. Like, it's bad. Okay. So tonight's part one. We're not going to do a whole mix tonight because it really is. It's 20 to 1 in the morning on the East Coast where I'm at right now. So I'm not going to be doing a whole mix. But we are going to be starting a mix. Recently, you guys competed in my second mixing contest. We mixed Zaki Ali's song Rain off his debut album, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out. It's on Spotify. It's on all the streaming platforms. It's amazing. 10 songs of shredding goodness. Go check it out. It's amazing. But you guys were mixing his song Rain. That's a song that you guys all got the stems that he used in his mix. And now I think I'm going to have a crack at it. I wasn't planning on mixing this song. I wasn't planning on taking a crack at it. Mostly because if it ends up being really good, I told you all you can't publish your mix on your own platforms. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. So this isn't going to go on my SoundCloud profile. But mainly this is going to be a fun experiment for everybody because Zaki mixed the song using nothing but analog gear. He edited the drum performance and everything. He edited all the instruments in Pro Tools to make sure that it lined perfectly on the grid. But he did the actual mixing of all the stuff using analog gear. Completely 100% analog. So we're going to see if we're going to have fun with this and see if me using nothing but in-the-box plugins, can we make this sound as good if not hopefully, better than the all analog mix. That's the experiment. That's the project. That's what we're doing. So let's get right into it. So when you guys got these stems, why the hell is this out like that? That should not be like that. Oh, okay, hold on. There we go. Now that's lined up right. Good Lord Almighty. Okay. So when you guys got these stems, I downloaded the same exact stems that you guys got. So I am starting off with a blank project. The only thing that I added was Zaki's master. This is the finished mix that you can listen on Spotify or whatever streaming platform that you want to listen on. This is the official analog mixed and analog mastered mix. This is the official mix. Our job, well, my job, is to see if I can get all these stems mixed together in a way that it sounds just as good as all analog. To put that exclamation point on the statement that I'm dying on that hill of, which is you do not need to spend 6 figures worth of money to get analog gear in order to get a good sounding mix. A lot of you audio engineers, a lot of you mixers give me shit for saying that. A lot of you want to hang me by my fingernails for saying something like that. And for me to say that you don't need a whole bunch of analog gear to get a good mix, that offends a lot of analog people. To which I don't give a shit. I will die on that hill, and I will say that forever until the day I drop dead. You do not need a lot of analog gear to get a good mix. As we're going to prove officially now, put an exclamation point on this argument. Let's see. Let's make sure that everything is good. And that I don't have any hidden effects on my OBS. Okay, nope, I'm good. Okay, so let's get going here. So in case you guys are living under a rock, I'm going to play a little bit of Zaki's official mix. Yeah, so it sounds fucking rad. Like, it sounds amazing. not only is Zaki a tremendously talented artist, but he's also a tremendously talented engineer, and he can mix the shit out of anything that you give him. He's very good. But also, he was using top range analog gear. Six figures worth of analog gear. He used preamps, he used compressors, he used EQs. That cost as much as a payment for your car per month. Grand total, I think it's like $120,000 worth of analog gear is what he sent this mix through. We're going to see if we can get that mix and these stems sounding as good using plugins that I pay $14 a month for. That's the mission. Okay. So first things first, what I go through with everything, let's unsolo and make sure that's muted. So the first thing that I do with everything is I sort out my group buses. So let's room Y. Okay. So room X, room Y. Let's get these first off colored. And let's send this to a bus that we're going to call drums. We're going to have bass. And we're going to have channel bass. And then we're going to have, I think, rhythm and lead guitar. I very rarely do this, but there's a lot of rhythm tracks here and a lot of lead tracks. So we're going to have rhythm and lead be their own group buses. Let's make that green. And these are going to be leads. There we go. Now I can actually see the waves a little bit better. Lead. Let's make these a little shade darker. And now we're going to go into the synths. That will be purple. And then we take all of these group buses and we go into a mix bus. Now let's make the mix bus that color and make my group buses red. Okay, so now we are completely organized. So there's a lot of tracks here. There's 42 tracks that we're going to be working with. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rough mix using just what we have, just what we're provided. I do not like the sound of this kick sample. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose another kick sample. Again, all you guys, I have what you guys had when you were mixing this. We have kick sample, snare top, snare bottom, and we have a snare sample that Zaki gave us. Snare sample sounds pretty good. We have 3 analog toms, which I think I'm going to add samples on top of these. Overhead left, overhead right. And we have 3 room mics. Bass DI and a bass mic. The mic'd bass sounds really good. And then we have all these rhythm tracks, lead tracks, piano, synths, you name it. This song has it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fuck with the levels and just get a basic, like, rough mix of everything. And we'll go from there. Then I'll do my usual alignment stuff. So I'm just going to fuck with this a little bit and just get a basic, like, rough mix going. Yeah, that is sounding pretty solid now. Yeah, it just goes to show you that a little level balance goes a long way. I also never have my headphones on. I always mix with speakers, but for like little microscopic like changes I'm gonna make, I want to use the headphones. So I'm keeping them on handy here. It's good with just like some level balance. Everything's pretty good. Everything has its own place already. Yeah, there's different things you could do with this. Yeah, there's tons of things I can do, and that's why a lot of people were sending a lot of different mixes. Like a lot of people were sending keyboard heavy mixes. A lot of people had harsh guitars in their mixes, very thin sounding guitars as well. A lot of people really fucked up with the drums as well. So, the 10 finalists that we ended up having, which by the way, if you go in my live section on my channel, you can watch the stream where we went over the 10 finalists and ultimately chose Heath Messias as our winner. Where we listened to all 10 finalists. 10 mixes really stood out. The rest were iffy and decent at best, but we had 10 finalists that really like wowed us with their quality. So he needs to put on ink. What the hell do you mean? I have a tattoo. I have a bad tattoo right here. It's the 89 Batman symbol. I want to turn this, by the way. I want to turn this into a Marvel and DC sleeve. So, like, you know, Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet? What I want to have the Infinity Gauntlet, like, here. And you know how the Infinity Gauntlet has the Infinity Stones on the knuckles and the wrist right here? I want to have the Infinity Gauntlet, but instead of the Infinity Stones, it's the Justice League of America are the Infinity Stones. So, Batman, of course, on the wrist, that would be the Mind Stone. And I'd have Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman. Oh, I think I named 5, but Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern. Oh, no, wait, Batman's there already. So Martian Manhunter, or the Flash, whatever. The point is, the Infinity Stones would be the Justice League of America. Just to combine my love of Marvel and DC and the fact that I'm a giant fucking nerd. Yeah, so the next thing that I always do with these mixes, I don't need my headphones right now, so let me take these off. The next thing that I always do with all my multi-tracks, especially with a lot of elements that have multiple microphones on it, is I use auto-align. And I don't know what Zaki used to get his drums all aligned. He probably meticulously, gridded them and like corrected phase, but this will be a determining factor of where everything is phase wise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the drums. If this were live, like if he performed live and everything was in one room, I would put auto align on every track. But what I'm going to do is make sure that everything is auto aligned. What I don't need is the snare sample. So let me solo drums. Go in an area where there's tom work. And play the drums. All right, now's the Oh, look at that. Look at what AutoAlign thought that this needs. Okay. All right. See how it aligned, how it moved everything? Polarity inverted, so it flipped the phase on the room, flipped the phase on all 3 room mics, flipped the phase on snare bottom. Now comes the fun part. Now we get to listen to what it thinks sounds better. And I think for this, I am going to put on my headphones. Just so I can hear it myself. Let's hear what we started out with, and we'll see what it thinks it needs. All right, that's without it. Now it's with. Yeah, there's a big difference with that. You hear more fatness from the snare drum for sure, and the room mics sound a little more present too, smoother. Yeah, that's excellent. AutoAlign did a good job with that. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing for the bass DI and the bass mic. See if this needs any AutoAlign. For this, I'm going to go with, okay. Let's lock in the drums. Let's delete that. We don't need the kick sample with that. Bass DI and bass mic. Okay. Now let's see if bass needs anything. Okay, so it flipped the polarity of the bass DI signal and moved it back 11 samples. Again, we're going to turn it off, listen to it without, and then I'm going to put it on. Yeah, there's more bottom end. There's way more bottom end now. Hot damn. Okay. Let's keep this train a moving here. Now let's go with the rhythm tracks, and we're going to have a lot of rhythm tracks here. So I don't know if if any of the mics were moved during reamping. I'm going to assume that there aren't, but we're going to check, okay? We're going to check. We're going to start with each rhythm track. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use Auto Align 2 for this one. I'm going to use Classic Auto Align. It works just as good, so the difference is between Auto Align 1 and 2 is you do it one track at a time. So we don't need that, so we're just going to do it one at a time here. So we're going to send one, bring that send up a little bit, and then we're going to have receive one. All right, it moved to 3 samples. Now to compare, we're gonna do the same thing now, but again with Auto Align 2, just to show you guys that it's exactly the same thing. So let's turn off Auto Align 1. Align. Oh, son of a bitch. That should be enough. There we go. See? And as you can see, it only moved to 3 samples. So, again, Auto Align 2, Auto Align 1, exactly the same. But listen to it without, and then listen to it with it on. What a difference. Like, that is a night and day difference. Holy moly. It's like there's a guitar there now. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do send to, and we're going to do receive to. Same thing. And now we're going to see if it's 3 samples as well. If it is, I'll just copy it. I'll just copy Auto Align, and I'll move the KM184 track plus 3 samples on each. I'll just do that. So send and receive. Okay. Yeah, 3 samples. Okay, so I think it's pretty safe to say that these are also going to be 3 samples. Again, let's just make 100% sure. Just in case if there was any sort of fuckery going on. Okay. And now the same thing. One more time. Guys, if you're sleeping on auto-align, you're missing out on this. You're missing out on probably the most versatile and mix-saving plugin that isn't in your arsenal yet. Okay, 3 samples. Now, let's see what the lead is like. I think this goes up to like 10 sends, so I think we're in the clear for that. All right, 3 samples. Something tells me this is also going to be 3 samples. Ooh, this one, it moved it back 3 samples. Okay, maybe the mic was moved. That's why I check auto-align on every single pair of tracks here. That's why you do that. Seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now I want to play all of this, and you are now going to hear this without any auto-align on, and then I'm going to turn on auto-align. And then you're going to hear the difference. So this is without. This is with. It's not even a fucking like. It's not a fucking joke. Like, it's not even a close comparison. That is above and beyond an improvement. Like, the guitars don't sound muddy anymore. Suddenly there's all the top end in the guitar that I would have had to add with a bunch of EQ, fucking up the phase even more. Like, that's... clear difference. Logic Pro, man, is so hard to work it. No, it's not. Just have patience and not be a fucking retard, and you can work Logic Pro. It really is like... it's just like using Pro Tools. Literally the only difference between any DAW is the quick key commands and how the UI looks. That's it. Logic Pro does the same exact shit that Pro Tools does. In fact, it does more than what Pro Tools does. You get more for your money for a one-time purchase for Logic. You get way better MIDI samples and MIDI library. You get Logic's drummer plugin, bass player plugin, keyboard player plugin. You can basically have an entire band. Just tell it what tempo you want, what vibe you're going for, and it'll basically create a song for you. You'll never see me ever use Pro Tools in any of my mixes. Logic is where it's at for me. Murray, good day from Australia. Good day, mate. Crikey. I watched a bunch of your church mix videos. Now I'm trying to fix my church's mix. Good luck. Good luck, bro. Mix on Meltdown Season 2, Episode 1, coming out Wednesday, by the way. Season 2, Episode 1, Vegas, Wednesday, April 1st. That is April 1st, right? April 1st is Wednesday. I just want to make sure. Yes, April 1st, Wednesday. We will be releasing Season 2, Episode 1 on Wednesday. And then Episode 2, probably going to be the following week. Episode 2 is a lot more straightforward with the flow of the episode, as far as footage wise. So, yeah, we're gonna be having some fun with that. I just realized I'm streaming at 30 frames a second when it should be 60. Now it's gonna really annoy me. Yeah, I can't change it now. Oh well. I tell Rumble Studio that I stream at 60, but OBS is streaming at 30, so I hope it's not jittery for you guys. So what exactly is Auto Align doing? It's basically, it's self-explanatory. It's aligning everything so the phase is perfect. So you don't have to like zoom in and manually like move a track over so the waves are exactly the same. You don't have to move it over, a sample this way or a sample that way. It does it for you. It uses a lot of CPU, but it's worth it. It's worth the purchase alone. If you mix an entire session using nothing but stock plugins and the only third-party plugin is Auto Align, you're already a step ahead of everyone else. Buy Auto Align. I'm not sponsored by Sound Radix. It's just the most helpful tool I've ever invested in. More so than the UA Spark plugin collection that I use to actually sculpt my mixes the way that they are. Auto Align is literally the quintessential, like, mix alignment plugin that I've ever used. You just heard it yourself. Like, you just heard it now. The guitar sounded muddy, dull, and lifeless, essentially. If I didn't have auto align, I would have had to boost the EQ of the guitars to get that bright end to come out and fuck up the phase even more. You heard it with the drums. The bottom of the snare drum has a lot more body to it. It helps align everything. And if you're still not completely sold on auto line, then I mean, the clearest example here. Let me play just the guitars. Turn them off and then turn them on. Listen to how dull the guitars sound. And Zaki's guitars are not dull guitars. These are the furthest things from dull sounding guitars. But altogether, it sounds a little muddy. If you can't hear that difference, you probably shouldn't be doing this. Sorry, not sorry. But that's like a clear as day difference with the guitars. Now I probably won't have to EQ that much. Now I can actually just take out what I don't need, take out a little bit of mud, and let the guitars naturally breathe because they sound amazing. If you're not listening on really, really good headphones or really, really good speakers, you won't hear what I'm hearing. The purpose of these streams is so I take you guys into my sessions, and I'm hoping that when you're listening to this, you have really good headphones like what I'm wearing right now, or you're listening on good speakers in a controlled, treated environment. That's when you're going to get the most, like, context of my mixes here. You got to listen to this on a really good source, because if you're just listening on your phone or cheap like earpods or whatever, it's not gonna. You won't hear it. The guitars you definitely will, because if you can't, like that difference is clear as day. But like the subtlety with the low end of the bass and the drums, you need to hear it on a good source, because you won't be able to hear it. All right, now that we got auto line on, I'm going to now mute the synths, and I'm going to mute the lead, and I'm going to work with just the bass, drums, and the rhythm guitars, and just build a foundation. Now that we have everything auto-lined, the tone is different. So now, I'm going to start from scratch again with this. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change the sample of the kick. I do not like the sound of this sample. It's way too fake and clicky sounding for me. This is just my particular taste. I want a more natural sounding kick drum. I still want the clickiness, but like I don't want... Where the hell is my trigger tube? There it is. Jesus. Blind as a fucking bat here. All right. Browser, CLA kicks. This is my go-to sample. Let's just hear how this sounds. And then I also have a kick out mic, and I also have a kick sub. So like, it's a real DW22 kick that Chris Lord-Alge recorded. So it's a real drum. And I believe this kick samples from Meshuggah. It sounds good, but it just sounds way too clicky for me. Yeah, that just sounds like a fucking machine gun going off. Now, now it actually sounds like a real kick to me. Yeah, that sounds so much more natural. And I know a lot of you guys, a lot of you metal guys love the really clicky kick drum. I've never liked it. I never liked it. What I have right here just sounds so much more natural to me. And I'm just gonna go with it. We're working with a kick sample, so why not? Okay, so these room mics, they sound good, but there's just no room ambience. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm now going to bring all the room mics together, and I'm going to put my room reverb on it. Now let's bring this to drums. Now let's make this an actual drum room. Ocean Way Studios. Because these are room mics, we're going to re-mic it. Well, let's see what this sounds like. That sounds like a drum room. Now it sounds like a drum room. This is what we originally had. You might as well have just more fucking overheads. This is what we have now. That sounds like a drum room now. Using the remake feature, this sounds fucking killer. And now what we can do with this, we're going to utilize the room. We're going from this to this. Night and day difference. All right, let's hear what that sounds like without the added room, with the room. Let me make sure I'm still on camera. Yes, I am. Okay. This is without it. With. It sounds like a drum room now. Oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be fun. All right, obviously I need to take out a little bit of the low end there. Need to make sure that I'm only getting the mids with that room mic, but let's continue with the drums and let's bring the bass in. Yeah, that sounds so good already. All I did was auto align and put a room emulator on it. And we're going from this to this. Night and day. Night and fucking day difference. I actually kind of like doing these little changes on while using the headphones. It's like I can hear everything so much fucking clearer. LA Unknown, night and day difference. It's awesome. The difference is as clear as day. I agree. Oh, awesome. Now you can feel the kick more. Yeah, that's the thing. This is the thing that I don't like about modern metal bands. Like, you want the clickiness, but you don't want the fucking punch. I'll take a dull sounding kick drum where there's no like clickiness to it, but it hits me in the gut. I'll take that over, dare I say his name? I'll take that over a Vinnie Paul sounding kick any day. This is going to, again, I'm just here to piss people off apparently tonight because I'm going to come out with hot takes all over the place. I never liked Vinnie Paul's drum sound. I think one of the weakest links in Pantera's overall sound was Vinnie Paul's drums. They sound thin. It's just all click. It's all clickiness. It's more clicky than teenage girls in high school. I never, ever liked Vinnie Paul's drum sound. You know who I think has the absolute best drum sound? Like one of the best drums I ever heard in my life. Clutch. Listen to the drums on Clutch's records, specifically Electric Worry. Those drums sound incredible. Give me Clutch's drums over Pantera. Here, let me just play a second of it. It's probably gonna get me fucking demonetized, but this. Those are fucking drums. Oh my God. Give me those drums over Vinnie Paul any day. Those are drums that I love. I want to feel like I'm in a fucking fist fight with Mike Tyson. And he's like giving me like haymakers to my fucking enormous fat gut. Those are the drums that I want. Versus this. I'm sorry, those drums sound like shit. They don't sound good. You know what's funny? The fucking Live from Moscow drums for this song even sound better than the album. Non-existent. I will die on a hill. Pantera has shit-sounding drums. Jonathan Becker. Hey, Chris. About fix it. Why can't you type proper sentences? If you want me to come fix your church, email me. Email me. It is the only form of contact that I will acknowledge and respond to. Email me. My email address is in my profile on my social medias. It's everywhere. ChrisHamillPhoto@gmail.com. Email me. And a couple of people ducked out of YouTube because I shit on Pantera's drums. I don't care. Fuck off then. I don't care. Pantera has shit-sounding drums. Anyway, let's continue on here. I'm going to get the overall drum tones right. I think we'll stop there tonight. So I'm going to add samples now onto everything else and make sure the drums are sounding as good as I can before I start actually like EQing, mixing, and all that fun jazz. So I'm gonna continue on with the samples here and make sure that these sound good. So, okay. Let me mute everything else so I only focus on drums. I may want to add snare samples, my own snare sample on that, but this snare sounds pretty good. I'm going to try not to use a snare sample, but these toms, yeah, these toms definitely could use a sample upgrade. And by that I mean like completely replaced. Yeah. That doesn't sound the best. All right. Oh boy, I never do this. I'm going to replace the whole fucking kit. Why can't I see anything tonight? There we go. Trigger. Browser. That sounds like a 10. That sounds like a 10. Yeah, that sounds a little like a 10. So detail, bring that down a little bit. Okay. DW sounds like a. Let me try 12. Yeah, that's definitely a 12. Okay. Tom 1, let's just go through this. No. Fat Tom, okay. Nope. Fat Tom sounds okay. Maple Tom, let's see what maple. I usually go with the maples. Actually doesn't sound bad. Let's keep Maple Tom open. Let's see what Metal Tom 1 sounds like. Nope. New Maple. Okay. Nope. That sounds meh. Okay, Maple Tom 1 I think is the winner here. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay, Maple Tom 1 is the winner. Which means this is going to be, you guessed it, browser, underneath Fat Tom. Maple Tom 2. Yeah, this is a rarity for me, guys. I never replace entire fucking drums. But I want this to fucking pop. I want to be able to look at people in the face and who say that, oh, you can't get it. You can't use digital. Basically tell them to fuck themselves. So I'm probably not going to have it at 100%, obviously. I'm going to keep it at like maybe 80. Just to blend like the original Tom in there. But most of this is getting replaced. Yeah, that's a good blend. 60%. Now just has a little more fullness to those toms. Yeah, that sounds so good now. Let's turn off trigger just so we can hear the difference. It's very, very, very subtle, but there's more like decay on the toms, and that's really what I was going for. There's also a volume difference with trigger off versus on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. There's just so much more decay on those toms. That sounds good. Okay. I hate that snare sample. Okay. I'm going to delete the snare sample. We're going to bring the snare top and snare bottom to their own bus. That will be snare. That will go to the drums bus. And then this will be sent to another bus. Sample. Snare sample. Okay. Okay. Let me have this go into the drums as well. It would help if I actually selected the correct bus. Let's do pre-fader at 0. Now I get to do my own snare sample. Okay. Now let's go to the browser, CLA snares. Usually the DW Maple is pretty good. All right, we're going to have to do some editing trickery with this. Let's take that off. Solo snare. Yeah. Yeah, guys, this is going to take a while, what I'm doing. But in the end, it's going to be worth it. There's a lot of ghost notes here, so what I'm doing is basically just getting the gain up a little bit more on that section so I can basically make everything a little bit louder there. Yeah, that's good. That way it'll be easier for the snare sample trigger to pick up those little hits. Then now I'm going to do the same thing with this section here. Because one thing I did learn about Greg as a drummer, who is the drummer that performed on this, he is very particular about the loudness of his drums. So if I can make him happy with this, then we'll be good. Because when he's giving a critique on something, he always makes it clear that, like, if his drums don't cut through, he's an unhappy boy. So we gotta make sure his snare cuts through. And even on the official mix, the one thing, if I'm like critiquing the official mix, this section, these two sections where he's like doing all these ghost notes, the snare kind of loses itself a little bit. Like, here, I'll even just play it because I have the official mix down here. All right, let me make sure I'm not going to blow your ears out. Yeah, it loses itself just a little bit. This is hopefully gonna change that. And if it doesn't, if I end up fucking it all up, then I could just reset it all back to normal. So, but now that I got that, now I can actually do this with the snare drum. That's pretty good. Okay. Minimum range 100 versus 120. So that way I won't have to put a limiter on it. mean, that's completely raw right now. And the snare is already cutting through a lot more. Let's start incorporating the synths a little bit more with everything. And then we'll call it a night for tonight. All right, that is that's still raw, guys. The only things that I've done tonight, I corrected the phase, and I just changed the sampling of the drums, and I also added a room emulator. That's all I did. No EQ, no compression, no sorcery. All I did was just check the phase, and I fucked with the tone of the drums by changing the samples and adding samples and adding a room emulator. And that's it. That's all I did. And it's a fucking enormous difference. LA Unknown, the mix is already sounding better. Yeah, it's. I did literally 3 things tonight. It's all I did, and little tweaks just make the world a difference. I think this is a good place to stop for the night. You know what? No, I'll give it a solid 2 hours. So I'll go 20 more minutes. We'll go until, you know what? We'll go until a little after 2:30. We're going to go for a little bit longer. Because weirdly, I'm not tired yet. So, all right. Let me just shut up and continue going here. So, I guess now what I could start doing is EQing and taking out what I absolutely do not want. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start taking out what I absolutely do not need or want. And I'll start with drums. First, let me bust out the bass. And send that out to bass bus. Okay. All right, let me start taking out what I absolutely do not want. So let's start with the kick. Let me start with the drums in general. All right, now for this, I do need my monitors. Yeah, that's sounding fucking wild. Literally just some cleanup EQ and everything that I did before. Look at my session. There's not... I'm barely doing anything. Yeah. That's good. That's very good, actually. That sounds fucking massive. Yeah, my sleep schedule's all messed up, but I think this is a good place to stop. We're just over 2 hours. I'm good with that. Plus, my ears are legit starting to get a little tired here. I had a good night tonight. I had a good night in the city. Saw my friend for her birthday. Hung out with a bunch of old SiriusXM colleagues. It was nice. Really nice. I'm sorry, not to give you shit, Jonathan, but like, I'm going to sleep. I'm getting bored. Bro, this is what mixing is. If finalizing little details like this is boring to you, I can already tell you're going to fuck up everything I do to your church. I can already tell. I'll gladly take your guys' money and come fix your problems, but if this is boring to you, welcome to mixing. If this is boring to you, you clearly aren't ready to handle a mix. And I can already tell you are going to fuck up everything I do for you. If this is boring to you. LA Unknown, I like using Fab Filter also. Yeah, dude, that Pro Q is so good. Just cleaning things up. Literally off to a good start here, cleaning everything up. And we're the goal for this is to get an all digital mixed in the box mix to sound as good, hopefully, if not better, than the all analog mix that Zaki did. And this will be the final like exclamation point on this whole thing of, guys, you do not need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on analog gear in order to get a good mix. And quite frankly, screw everyone else that thinks that at this point. Shine Your Light Detailing, good morning. Yes. Good morning. I'm about to say good night. So, yeah, this is a good start tonight. My ears are finally starting to get a little tired here because I was blasting that in my ears just now. Yeah, I'm very happy with where this came, with where we are. This is a good start, and we'll pick this up at another time. There's no deadline to this. It's literally just me fucking around with it. So, yeah, I honestly was gonna play some video games now, honestly, because I'm continuing my game with Super Metroid. But I'm even starting to get a little tired now. So we're gonna call it a night, and I'll see you next time tomorrow. Good internet pending. I'll be live with the Crusaders tomorrow night. I think the bar that we're going to, we played there already, and I already have their Wi-Fi info, so maybe we'll see. Can't promise anything, but we will have a stream of the Crusaders tomorrow night. Good internet pending. So tune in then. I'll have the stream like scheduled. If I do have good internet, I'll have the stream scheduled on my channel. So look for it. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you probably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday maybe next week. All right. Good night. Bye.